Right. We all got issues.
We
Hey,
all got
hey, hey.
Hey
What's up,
everyone.
guys? We just wanted to pop up on you and show our pretty little faces. It's the girl squad here at SafeWord doing some holiday pop-ups for our 12 days to
Yes.
Kinkmas. Yes. And you guys have tuned in with the girl squad of SafeWord on our road to Kinkmas. We're giving you fun holiday pop-ups so you guys can get more intimate with us here on Safe Word. It's
Yes.
Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday. It's your friend Sasha Lencher, and I brought my friend with me.
Miss Aurora Storm, how y'all doing out there? So,
Hi.
yay! I'm so excited for this one today. I just like coming on here, giving our audience a little bit more insight on us, and you get to see
I
the hot girls of the crew, one-on-one
know.
time. So we coming
Right.
on here just to gab and talk and have y'all listen to our sexy, sultry voices.
Right. Sometimes you need to hear it from a softer side, and we give you guys that softer side. Sometimes we
Exactly.
give it to you hard, though, but we're
Yeah,
the softer side.
yeah. Go to Sasha for the softer side, but you might be overwhelmed with that. I'm just telling you because she could switch it up. Okay, but
I
you come to me.
mean,
You come to me if you want to get beat, honey.
I'll keep you on your toes, and she'll keep you
Right.
in line.
All right. So Miss Sasha, you are running this one today. What you want to talk about?
So today we are going to talk about what are we talking about today?
Spicing up.
It's Thirsty Thursday. We're trying to spice it up here. See, I got so sidetracked being stale. I forgot we're gonna talk about spicing. See, I'm so sick of myself.
So if you sick of yourself, you sick of your partner, you sick of your significant other, we gonna tell you how to spice it up, even for yourself.
Right. We get stuck in the same old monotonous thing. Sometimes we get an autopilot just running the relationship, and we figure that, heck, if the relationship is taken care of, then everything else is taken care of.
Right.
Wrong answer. When you're going in autopilot in your relationship, you kind of autopilot yourself into the bedroom, and that's where you don't need to be an autopilot.
Yeah, we're all about kink here and exploring. Exploring is the big thing. So, I mean, when you get into those ruts, don't drag that into the bedroom because that's going to be the scene for the rest of your time. And it's going to be really hard to get out of that rut scene in your bedroom.
Absolutely. Right. So if you're outside life, if kink is in your 24/7 situation, so if your outside life starts bleeding into your personal situation, you have to find almost a safe word within yourself to know when I'm playing and when I'm being myself in this situation.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I mean, honestly, like if you're dealing with someone else, even within yourself, I mean, let's just put it out there for yourself. You need a safe word with yourself. Check yourself. Like if it's I mean, COVID is around. We all trapped. We all ain't doing what we want to be doing. We
Right.
ain't allowed to go where we want to go and do what we need to do. So check in with yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself a hug. Give yourself that moment to be okay, to switch it around. So
Right.
that way when you are getting kinky, that's not all there.
Right. So me and Aurora, we were being creative in one of our meetings, and we kind of put things into a correlation. When you don't have your creative space to go to recharge or feel free and unjudged and unbiased, some people feel that way at work. Some people feel that way in the bedroom. Some people feel that way in their hobbies. So if kink happens to be your space to free yourself, you need to brush up on your skills sometime. So we're going to be here today on our Thirsty Thursday to give you some new ideas to switch it up with yourself. And when you switch it up with yourself, you feel empowered to switch it up on them too, honey.
Exactly. Exactly. Take back the power within yourself. Even if you are an S-type, take back the power within yourself to have the power in the bedroom. Okay?
Yes.
Because
You need to do
this has to be
that.
right.
Right.
I mean,
So
That's a question I actually have for you, Sasha. Like, have you ever noticed that, like, if this isn't right, like if you're not okay here, like it doesn't matter how much you try and put yourself into that situation, you can't get there.
Mhm.
It's just disingenuous. You know what I'm saying?
Even
Just
for
going through the
it's
motions.
disingenuous even if I feel, yeah, exactly, it's disingenuous even if I'm trying to go through the motions with myself,
Right.
even if I'm like, I have an itch, I need to scratch it. How do I go about that? But sometimes you just do it, and sometimes it's like receiving too. It's, you know, you're getting the reception of, I just need to do this, as opposed to, I want to do this, I
Right.
want to do this well, I want to take my time, and I want to do this. I don't want a 2-minute situation, I want a 27-minute situation.
Right.
And
Exactly.
sometimes you got to do that with yourself. It's a warm up and a cool down within yourself. Are we
Exactly.
going to try something like peaking? Do we even know what peaking is?
If you don't, please refer to our video, because we have a whole teasing and denial video that explains that very, detailed, so that you
Mhm,
don't miss
mhm.
that.
Right, exactly. But we're going to talk about, so peaking, you give us a little bit more of a deeper dive, just a little bit of a deeper dive into peaking so we can talk about it a little bit more.
Peaking is the same thing as edging. It's the same thing that I spoke about on that teasing and denial video. So like I said, subscribe, like, comment, watch the video. But we'll just give you a brief rundown and kind of give you an example of what it is. Edging and peaking, it's known as two different things. Some people go with pinking, some people say surfing, some people say edging. And literally what that is it's making the buildup. It's having that buildup, that tease. And then you don't allow that person to reach climax. And then you pull it all away. You know what I'm saying? And then you build it back up, you build it back up, you build it back up, and you pull it all away. And sometimes it depends on how you're playing, but sometimes you may not even get to reach climax. You know what I'm saying? That's up
Right.
to your negotiations and what you did in negotiations. And sometimes if you're playing in power control, that's up to your dom when that gets to happen, if you're going to climax or not.
Right.
So
And
that's
how that's
just a
going
deep
to
dive.
look too.
Right.
But even practicing some of those situations with yourself, it helps you kind of get to know yourself, because you're pushing your own limits, you're pushing your own boundaries. It's super empowering. If you make yourself do something that someone else hasn't done,
Right.
isn't that way more intriguing, even to yourself? Because now you have a new limit for yourself, because it's like, well, if I made myself, then now I'm chasing that high, and I want that too.
Right, exactly. And I really think it's important that you practice like edging, peaking, surfing, however you want to call it, but I call it edging. So I really think it's important that you practice edging with yourself, because not only does it help you connect to yourself and all of that, but it also lets you know what gets you there, what you need to like build the build up, where you go, how far you can go. Let's put it that way. How far you can go before you climax, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so then that way, when you are with a partner, even just in a regular sexual, intercourse, it's like, hey, wait, I want to hold off for a second. Hold on, wait, because it makes it more intense. It makes it better,
So it's almost like the same concept as conditioning for like a marathon.
Yep.
Or a 10K or boxing. You want to increase your endurance, your stamina. You want to almost study your opponent. You want to go into it knowing what your playing field is, what your angles are, so you can keep going and you can last longer and trick your opponent, because they don't know how you're going to come.
Right, exactly. And I mean, with this Christmas season, you could totally, make it, because here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think so many people miss. Sex is
Here's the
supposed
thing.
to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. So if you're
It's
not,
not a chore.
right, it's not a chore. It's
Attention.
not like, okay, well, I've
Attention.
got to give attention to somebody, so let me just go ahead and do this.
It
should
is
be
not
fun.
a chore. It is
Right.
not a chore to exchange power. It's not a chore to exchange leadership. It's not a chore to have a conversation about pros and cons of situations. Like,
Right.
none of that is a chore. And once, so sorry, excuse me. And well, I'm sorry, my little bubbly water. I'm sorry.
Right, you're like, okay, you good, girl.
But sometimes when it becomes monotonous, just like life, then you forget those things and how fun they are, like growing up and becoming an adult. You don't go on adventures no more because you're worried about bills in the next step, as opposed to let me take a step back to enjoy and decompress and have
Right.
fun so I can get back to business.
Right. And here's the thing, like with Christmas coming up, I'm going to give you guys some little ideas or tips, and I'm sure Sasha has some too. But like get creative. Like if you are the man that usually, initiates it, right? Let her initiate it. There's one. Or you could start it and be kind of creative. Wrap yourself up, baby. You can be the freaking present that I unwrap on Christmas. Ooh, do you know what that would do for a woman? Do you have any idea? You just walk out into the living room, just wrapped up all nice, got a bow.
Right. Or
No,
the Santa
certain
hat
place.
on, it's just some boxers and like maybe a nightcap for you too.
Exactly.
It may be a little silly, but it's like, okay, get out of the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Quit thinking about what happened before that. Let yourself go to at least make fun of yourself, be comfortable being silly. If you can't look at yourself in lingerie, then how can someone else? If you can't look at yourself in a Santa hat on or in a ball gag or whatever things that we're trying to play with. But if you can't do it within yourself, how can you explore those things?
Right, exactly. So yeah,
it's like,
I love that you're taking it from the angle of like doing this with yourself and making sure you're good with yourself first, because that's really where what it comes down to. I mean, for people to even accept kink in it to be a normalized thing, you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, what is it, that I'm into? What is it that I like? What is it that I don't like? Where are my limits, before you can even step into the realm of playing with someone else.
Right.
So,
you could trigger yourself, you could trigger someone else. You don't know what you got going on. So if you think you're into the dom situation and it gets to a point where it's too much control you can lose control.
Yep.
So playing in those play spaces with yourself, again with the warm-ups and the peekings and the edgings and stuff like that, and the role playing, the dressing up, that's another fun way.
Yes. So I've got a more Christmassy question for you though.
What?
So this is kind of taking a step away from, giving people ideas and connecting with yourself. Well, it's kind of connecting with yourself. So let's put it this way. If someone was to get you a kinky Christmas gift, okay? So let's say there's a man out there and he's like, ooh, Sasha, need me some of Sasha, but I want to introduce kink into this relationship, into this connection. What is a Christmas gift? Now think about it. It's Christmas. You try to open this gift for Christmas. What's a Christmas gift that you would receive and you'd be like, oh snap, yes.
Okay, so so the ultimate gift that like someone can get me to like totally just make my mind explode, a swing. I want like one of the sex swings that you can put in the door, and they have the harness and they have the this and they have that's the gift that's gonna keep on giving.
You give to her and she gives back to you. You see how this works, guys? You give to her and she gives back.
And it's I love things that have a wide variety of uses.
Right, exactly. So for me,
what would yours be?
Oh, girl. Well, I mean, you could get me a flog or a whip and I'd be excited. And I'd pull that out.
No. We need that top tier thing that would woo you. We need to be wooed at this point of goddesses. Yes. What would the ultimate gift to offer to the altar of the goddess?
I'm always down for a vibrator because, honey, I can do it by myself just fine. But here's the other piece of it is that, like, if I'm in a relationship and with a partner, whatever it may be, labeling, don't like it. If he was to get me like one of those triangle things that you put on, the foam, like positioning triangle things that go on the back, you do all the different positions on. Yes.
Okay, that was a good one too.
Yeah. I would be like, ooh. And see, that's discreet enough that if you were to take it out of its box and wrap it, and let's say you had mixed company, she's like, oh, look, a comfort forming pillow. Thank you so much, honey. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be thinking about the box of that one because, well, hopefully
the box has
a brown box.
Yeah, the boxes have positions on them. So like, I don't think you want to open that around grandma, but
She's like, is that a neck thing? Is it it helps you get realigned, grandma?
yeah, it's fine. It's for
okay.
me. No, I have problems.
It's holistic. It's all natural.
Exactly. So like that way, like if I got that kind of a gift from somebody, then if I'm opening it in mixed company, it's just like, oh, it's a pillow. Look, I can use. I needed an extra pillow for my back on the couch, or in my bed, whatever. So
Well,
it's a little bit more discreet.
Right. Well, if we're talking discreet here, and then the discreetest of discreet would be like, I love a good like costume, and
yeah, that's a great idea. A costume.
I love a good costume, a good wig, a whole. I need the moment, like the whole moment.
Okay, me too. So that is a great buildup. No, I'm so glad you brought that up because that is such a great buildup for women. Okay, women, I'm sorry, we love our clothes, our hair products, our makeup, our shoes, and we're literally not doing all of this for you guys as much as you think we
No.
It's for us to feel good, and there's other women that look at us and judge. So let's be honest.
So it's almost like your calling card. If you look close enough to people, their clothing on, it says a lot about who they are as a person, how powerful they are, and how powerful they feel in themselves. If you see someone who has a bunch of labels, me in my humble opinion, Miss Sasha, when I see people in a bunch of labels, I feel like they're trying to identify themselves by what they're putting on, as opposed to someone who finds fancy or fantasy in their everyday attire. So people who are avant-garde or high fashion, they're either projecting in their outfit or they are translating their alter.
Right. Yeah. Well, and sometimes people are just really into it because I know that you're into fashion. So, I mean, the labels and stuff, I mean, it's a thing. So like if you're in that fashion industry and in that world, or even the entertainment industry, it's helpful to have some of those labels, when you're walking in the meetings and things like that. So going back to being kinky, you could totally build up an entire thing for her. The shoes, the dress, the makeup, and package it all up like a gift box and be like, ooh, this is what I want you to put on. This is what I want you to wear. Can you model this? A girl will be like, yes.
Get her hair done how you want to see her hair done. Sometimes we feel like it's so serious, like we were talking about, is role play, is kink so serious? No, it's not serious. And sometimes if you have a relationship and this is something to spice up, you don't have to tell her you want her to be somebody else. Just go pay her hairstylist. Say, I want her to look really sexy. This is what I'm going for. Can you do that? Amazon her some cute stuff. Don't even talk to her about it.
These are all really great ideas. If you don't know what you're getting your significant other for Christmas, email us. The email will be in the description box. Reach out to our IG. We can give you lots of ideas that are going to be something that builds her up and makes her feel good. And in return, you're going to end up getting a gift, honey. You're going
like a kinky power exchange almost. You're being kinky without it being so serious, and you're getting what you want out of the situation. Tact is everything too.
Yes.
So there's a way to have your power and come off almost submissive, daddy doms out there.
Exactly. So, I mean, show them a little bit more of your sensitive side. Make there be a buildup to it. Like that, honestly, has always been a fantasy of mine. It's something that I really love. Take me on a shopping spree. Tell me what you want to see me in. Put me in those shoes. Get my hair. Because boo, once we done,
all bets off. And it's not, I think sometimes doms or even men that is their love language. They get submissive when it comes to that, because they're like, oh, is this you gotta let yourself go and be in the moment and know that you're giving what you want, because you're going to get what you want. That's about the power exchange.
Well, and it's setting up the play scene. I mean, if you are a kinky person, it makes it very difficult to, even if you're dating, to come out and say, hey, I'm into kink and I don't think I could ever date somebody that's vanilla ever again. So then set the scene up for yourself. Instead of having that deep conversation where you're afraid you might get rejected, set the scene for yourself so that you can introduce that so that you can have that conversation. So
Mhm.
if you've made this buildup, you've put this, this scene together by buying her clothes or whatever
Mhm.
you want to see her in. It's not about the money. It's about building that scene. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that way you can then get home or to the hotel, get a hotel. Cause that makes a difference if you've been in a long-term
Ooh,
relationship, get a
right.
hotel.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
sets the scene, it changes the mood. And then you're able to have those conversations like, okay, well, I really want to try this. And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, the woman's going to be like, okay, yeah,
Right.
I haven't ever done that before, but I'm willing to try. So
Especially if this is to spice up a relationship, the shopping spree scenario, that's to build up to the fantasy. Out of your character doesn't know what's going on. The new placing, it gets stale in your bedroom. Your kids being there, you got crumbs in the sheets because your kids crawl in there, and you're trying to spice it up. Nothing is spicy about a Lego in your
right.
butt cheeks when you're trying to turn over. Nothing is sexy about that. So like Miss Aurora Storm was saying, you have to spice up the placing too. Yeah. That has a lot to do with it. The open exchange.
Right. And for women, I at least I can speak on to me. And I'm gonna have Sasha answer this here in a second.
Mm.
But for me, it's very much about the mental. Like if you can get me here, so
it's
like
open.
right. So set up the placing, set it up for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of
Absolutely.
10, women are kinky. It doesn't matter how much she's sitting there saying she's a prude. She's not. She's just a prude for you.
She just wants you to, just like you have a fantasy and an ego, she wants you to feel into hers. If
Right.
you see this woman is nurturing and compassionate by how the way she dressed, she's almost modest. If you're hiding something, then you must be worth hiding.
Right.
That means
Exactly.
you need to find out what her love language is by kind of prodding different ways to see what's going to massage the placing to work in your area or work in your favor, shall I say.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So, no, sorry, guys, my computer dinged on us.
It's lit. That's what the computer said. It's lit. You're dropping gems on them.
The computer was like, yes, girl, yes. I have to press ding. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna have to save some of this game we're spilling over here for Patreon so we can get some of our daddies lit for the holiday season.
So women, if you're watching us, men, if you're watching us, we will be having a Patreon up very shortly. So if you're looking for more game, more tactics, how do you get into it? How do you introduce it? How do you talk about it? We hear. So, but we're going to wrap this up today because we can't give you too much of the greatness. You got to check it. Please make sure that you are watching our Instagram, all of our Instagrams. Sasha has a separate one, so do I. And then SafeWord does. We are on Facebook and we are on Twitter. Y'all need to watch because that's where we're going to be putting up little links, little hints that we may be popping up and showing up for a live. So if you want to see our there may be one tomorrow and a very special one where it's just the two of us. So, yes. So join us, watch, like, subscribe, comment, subscribe, hit that dang bell button right now. Sasha, I'm going to need you to tell them to hit the bell.
You better be good and hit the bell. It's somewhere, but you better get all your notifications, all of them, all the notifications, so you know exactly when we're on.
Exactly. See, Sasha asked you nicely. Now I'm going to tell you, hit subscribe. Like hit the subscribe button right the heck now. Because my face is on here. So y'all should already hit subscribe.
What she said. Mama's not saying. That is all for us for right now. Maybe we'll see you guys tomorrow. We love you and we are out. Have an amazing Kinkmas and stay tuned to SafeWord. Love you guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.